Hello everyone. Hi. Thank you for joining us. Tonight me and Storm are going to have a little Q&A session about the video that we released on Saturday for here, and hopefully we can answer some of your questions. We've got a few written down that you sent throughout the weekend. Lots of them are very very funny. So yeah, hopefully we can sort all of that out. I'll see if Storm is with us, and then I will add it up. I made a sign for it, but I did it the wrong way around, and it's really upsetting because I spent loads of time doing it. But you know, I tried. So yeah, basically, if you have any more questions, comment. Oh, Sunny's here as well. Hello, Sunny. I don't think you would be awake. But also, if anyone has any questions for Sunny as well, because he was the other person who did the video for me. So Sunny and Storm basically shot it and edited it all. So if you have any more questions for them, that I will definitely, some of them I won't be able to answer because I have no idea about all of that technical stuff. Yes, you can ask them, and also if you have any musical questions as well about the actual song, please do shoot them out, because it'll be interesting to see what you guys are actually interested in about the video, because I think we started it. Storm is here. Here she is. Ooh, I can add her in now. Let's hope it all works. It's the first time I've done this. Yeah, we're going all the way to France now. Comments from Hong Kong and live from France.
Hi.
That was so loud in my headphones. Hello.
Sorry. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. My internet is just a little bit slow, so bear with me if I cut off.
Will. hopefully we won't. They'll just leave us stranded, asking all these technical questions. I'm like,
yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Oh well, Sunny is here as well. So if either of us are stuck, we can take him and make him answer it as well.
Yeah, I'll probably ask a few questions for Sunny. He is here. How do you look at? Oh, there we go. That's how you look at comments.
Cool. For the week.
I've never actually done a live before, so
no, neither. Well, I have done lives, but I've never done it like adding someone else in myself. I've been added in, but I've not added someone else in. But yeah, it's cool. It's glad it works.
There we go.
Right. Well, I've got some questions written down. Do you want to should we go in for it?
Yeah, I think we should just go straight into it.
Right, let's have a look. See. So one of them was kind of a sort of a general question about like what was the main inspiration behind it. I guess like because when I did the song and recorded it, I didn't have any idea what I wanted it to look like, to be honest. Like I had no idea what it was going to look like, and then you guys came along and made it look amazing. So I guess what you guys like, the inspiration behind it and stuff you took from the song that inspired the video and stuff.
Well, I mean, personally, it took a few times listening to it, and I just listened to it and then had to picture. This is for me personally. I think Sunny also had his own way of doing it, but me personally, I just had to listen to it a few times, and then I just scribbled a few sketches of what felt right. But it was definitely everything that matched, and I used a few watercolors and stuff. But definitely, what matched was more dark blue tones and kind of very close shots, and more of a sort of like claustrophobic scene, and very much of sort of wandering, which we did in the video, but without leading anywhere. So there was lots of like, I scribbled lots of shots of like walking or just general kind of, you know, black, dark colors. And that's also when like the scene like underwater came to me, like especially towards the beginning. So I
love that scene so much.
Yeah, me too.
It was just like I had to scrub up a horrible like uni bath to be able to use it. I think that's the first time that bath had ever been used.
Oh my, that was a slightly grim bath, but you know, it's for a good cause. So you know,
yeah, it's definitely for a good cause. Yeah,
especially
no, it was cool to see like it visualized in something else, because I had it in my head as it was just a song, and I was kind of struggling to get the visuals for it, just because I struggled with that one. But I think it came across really well. Like the moody vibe is definitely something that we agreed on quite early on.
wasn't it? It's kind of like moody and lots of far away, but then really claustrophobic shots, which worked really well throughout the video as well.
Yeah, I think
cool.
it all came across quite nicely. I mean, it did take some time, but with a lot of, especially like color correction, after all the color correction that Sunny and I did, I think it did have a nice, good finish, like polished look at the end, which is definitely what we were aiming for. Quite good.
And especially like those shots we did in Leeds with like such the dramatic lighting. It was like when you look at those shots just by themselves, they look so intense. And like when you put them all together, they look so good because they contrast so well to it, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. Those shots, I mean, I sort of slightly turned up a wee bit late to that, but when Sunny had set it up, I remember the amount of times we filmed the same shot with different clothing, different lights, different angles. We had like 3 yeah. Oh, I might have to cut off. Did I cut off?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, a little bit. You were talking about the clothing.
Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah, no, did cut off.
Yeah,
my internet is very dodgy.
A whole suitcase of clothes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. Right, it's all right. We got it. We got most of it, I think. But yeah, I remember taking like a whole suitcase of clothes to Leeds, and then like not using any of it because Ailey had really nice stuff. I do that all the time. But
yeah,
no, it worked really well. It worked really well. It looks really cool. I'm very, very proud, happy with it.
No, it's definitely worthwhile. So what's the next question?
Yes. Well, I have one from Ailey who was there at the shoot as well. So this is her tops in the video. But she wanted to ask like for you specifically, like what kind of which videographers you look up to and like what visual artists you take inspiration from.
I don't particularly look to any specific videographer. It's more artists in general who they hire than different types of video. But like I think going a bit more old school, things like Portishead and Massive Attack, all that have a slightly more darker, grungier feel, was definitely what I was aiming for. And so yeah, when I drew the first few sketches, then I just really researched more those kind of artists, and also a few films. Can't quite remember which ones, but anyone that had a slightly sad vibes, sad boy vibes, and yeah, just darker feels. That's how I inspire myself. Usually I do the drawings first, and then I look for more examples and inspiration later on.
Yeah, it's the song is kind of, when you actually read into the song, it's actually really sad. But like when I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, I get so into it because like the video looks so good next to the audio as well. It sounds awesome. But yeah, when you actually read the lyrics, it's a bit sad vibes.
Sad vibes.
But yeah, that's why I was wandering around Nottingham, not knowing where to go. Yeah, I'm glad. Like in Nottingham, it could have been a bit like haphazard, the filming. Like you could have got anyone just like ruining it, but it actually worked quite well.
Filming in Nottingham was interesting. I mean, not only that, but also how cold it was that day. It was just absolutely freezing cold with wearing 5 different jackets. And Sunny and I just like walking behind you, like in the shots of towns and then in the countryside, in the like muddy areas. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it was I would say quite a bit of it. We had the idea in our heads, but a few of the shots were improvised last second. But with a theme, with an underlying theme, but still mostly improvised. We were like, oh, we don't know where we're going to shoot, but as long as we find a good wooded area, that'll be good.
Yeah, I think we had like you kind of like, we knew we wanted to go to a park somewhere, but we weren't sure which one or like what exact shot. But I think it worked quite well. And we went to Bulwell Park, but it was just like grim and like sliding around in the mud, and it was absolutely freezing. And then like I remember after that, I went and did like a close in the kitchen up till like 1 a.m. I was like, oh, it'd be worth it in the end.
Yeah, no, that was definitely fun though. I also liked a few of the fun shots that we did. You know, I'm kind of glad we didn't put it in, but there's that one shot where you're lying down on that sort of metal thing that goes around in slow motion. That was that
playground. Yeah,
quite
that
a
was
few
good.
playgrounds.
Yeah, we got a bit distracted for a while.
It's the whole point. It's the whole point of the whole, you know, the fun filming.
We have to leak that video of Sunny running after all the pigeons.
Oh,
I don't even know where that is. Do you?
I've got it. Yeah, I've got that slow-mo of him chasing the pigeons.
That was
and I think he's got that video of us dancing in the field, so you know, only serious.
Oh my god, yeah! Oh, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, there's so many bloopers.
Yeah, I think that we could make a whole other video based on all the like fun we had that day and all like the ridiculous stuff we got up to instead of actually filming. But
yeah, that'd be fun. Yes. No, it was
no,
a weekend.
Sunny. Oh, yeah, Sunny. I'll be posting that video of you soon. Definitely.
Nice. Yeah, well, for anyone who doesn't know, Sunny is also did the video with us, and I think Ailey was there for some of the initial video calls that we had about all the ideas and stuff, and she helped me, which gave me a place to stay as well. So thank you to everyone who was on it, because it looks awesome.
It was a small crew, but a good crew.
Very much so, yeah.
You know, we did the best that we had with a very limited budget.
Well, it looks like you didn't have a limited budget at all. It looks so good.
Yeah, we did our best. I think the most expensive part of all of that was probably the Sephora. No, what was it? The Lush black.
Oh my god! Yeah, like £5.
Yeah, that was
a big spending.
But it was a good one.
I had a lovely bath afterwards. Yeah, you all went off to get some lunch, and I just stayed in the bath for like 20 minutes after the shoot.
Well, I think the initial idea for that water scene was actually going to be a river. So I'm quite glad we didn't decide to go along with that plan and just chuck you in a river. And we're like, oh, you're a bit cold, here's a towel. Okay, good luck.
Yeah,
we'll film
because that was the initial idea for the cover for here. And I remember going down to the meadows where we live with Sunny and Ailey and looking at the river, and it was like basically flooded and completely brown, and it was like disgusting. And I was like, I can't get in there. We had to come up with a graphic design idea. It was basically like the graphic design idea of the actual cover is what I had in my head, just not, I didn't actually have to get wet and cold, which is
honestly that could have been a Photoshop job, but quite glad we did chuck you in the river in the end just to do that underwater scene. I would have felt quite guilty after that. And instead you got a nice warm bath with a lush bomb, so
it was lovely.
It was all worth it in the end.
Exactly, always.
Yeah, I definitely live by that motto: improvise, adapt, and overcome with what you've got.
Yeah, definitely, especially with like absolutely no budget whatsoever. But no, it worked really well. Honestly, like it doesn't look like I showing it to people, and like my parents as well. They're like, it doesn't look like a video that like some uni students did. It looks like professional.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad it worked out so well. We had a great team, and also I think what really helped was the fact that you were really willing just to do anything that Sunny and I had in mind.
Yeah,
I can imagine some people being like, "No, you can't put me in a bath." Like, no, that's not. You're just like, yeah.
That's my favorite shot. Like, when you were describing it, I was like, yeah, that's gonna look so good, and it did.
It was. Yeah.
Glad it worked. Right, let's have a look. See. Oh yeah. So someone else asked what was the hardest scene to record. I'm
not sure. The studio shots were pretty simple. And then I think the bath scene we did a few times, but it wasn't hard because I was actually warm, so I was just genuinely quite happy to be there. I would say, I think for me, I know what the hardest scene, I didn't film it, but Sunny filmed it, and I think it was a dolly zoom because he didn't have a stabilizer, and he had to walk across like all these bumps and try and keep it as smooth as possible. So that was probably definitely the hardest scene to shoot, was a dolly zoom, and that was all Sunny. He did that perfectly well. And I remember, do you remember that time at that point where Sunny was like, "Oh, Storm, can you just hold like the lens whilst I walk?" And we were on one camera.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Sunny was moving and I was holding the zoom to the camera. We were walking together towards you. It was quite comedic and it was amazing. But yeah,
from
well done, Sunny.
From where I was standing, it looks like the shot would be absolutely awful. Like it looks like it would be so shaky, and then it looked amazing.
Yeah. So someone asked me, a dolly zoom, basically, a dolly zoom is when the background changes. So wait, how can I explain this properly? It's when the person sort of stays in the same position in the foreground, but the background either gets bigger or smaller. So it gives a sort of optical illusion effect. That's probably the worst way to describe it, but I try my best.
If you watch the video, you can see it. So
it's the first shot and the last shot of the music video is a dolly zoom. If that's easier to understand.
It looks awesome as well. It's really
I'm so glad. Cool. Just honestly, 100% credit goes to Sunny for that dolly zoom. I don't think we used the one where I decided to also help out, and there was 2 of us on one camera. So yeah,
you were on pretty uneven, like muddy ground as well. It wasn't easy.
No, it was definitely interesting to say the least. But
I think like all the scenes, they were quite, a lot of them were quite like the still video ones were quite cool, but I don't think any of them were like particularly, I don't know, challenging. I don't know
I think because we kept it relatively simple, but also we didn't have things like oh sugar, what's it? Like it's not called a stabilizer, it's called anyway, something to support the camera while it doesn't shake. Sorry, I'm losing my words at the moment. But, we only had 2 cameras and ourselves, so everything we had to do had to be relatively easy to shoot because we didn't have a massive budget with like cars and all these expensive stuff to shoot with, or drones. It was rather simple but well executed, I think.
Yeah, I think like the hardest part for me was just like staying unembarrassed, because I just like when people taking photos of you in the like a massive shopping centre in Nottingham, just saying, "Charity, don't move yet," and everyone just staring at you, and you have to like have a really straight face and just pretend like they're not there. But I think that was the hardest part for me, because like I remember going to the lead shoot and being like, "Oh God, I'm just gonna ruin it. I'm gonna be so embarrassed." But I really got into it, and I'm glad I did, because otherwise it would have looked like I was embarrassed, and it wouldn't have looked good.
It was I don't think I would personally be very comfortable with walking around the streets with abundant amount of people, as you have Sunny and I just like running behind you, looking really creepy, just like sort of filming every move that you did. But it was a really fun experience, to say the least. Like,
it was cool. I remember being on the tram, and like you were taking some photos of like sitting opposite me and taking videos. But there was a couple sitting next to me, and they were just looking at me like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh my God, I want to be swallowed up into a hole." But like those tram shots are some of the best shots in the video, like when they overlay from the studio shots and the moving shots. But so it's all worth it, and I'll probably never see them again, so it doesn't matter.
There you go. I think that's all you've got to put in your mind, is when you're doing like loads of public shots, is to just be comfortable with like that whole kind of no judgment going on. It's all professional stuff here. I mean, we did look like uni students sort of running around filming something, but I think we just got to accept it at some point.
Yeah, no, it was worth it anyway.
100%.
Yeah, right, let's have a look, see. There's a couple of musicy ones about like when we recorded a song and who was playing on it and stuff. And I think we recorded it like last summer. So it's basically last summer, and then it was released in November, and then the video's just come out. So it's been like nearly a whole year in fruition. But yeah, my dad played on it, and then we did it in Buckingham, and Jay played on it as well. But I think like that the building blocks of the music informed the music video so much that they like twin together so well, which is why the video works so well, because they speak to each other, and it's like they were made at the same time, even though they weren't at all. Like when I wrote the song, it's completely different to how it is now and stuff like that. But I think all the slide guitar on it and all the effects on the guitar, and all the really intense drums as well, they work really well with the video, like changing shots.
I think that was definitely, it's an amazing, I've had a lot of feedback from you, like just the song itself is an amazing song. You do have an amazing voice, so it worked. Like, you know, just the song itself is really good. So
Yeah, I'm glad we spent a lot of time on it, but yeah, it's very cool. It's also it's going to be played on Rutland Radio at 1:30 on Saturday if anyone's about.
promo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know if I have any. Oh, I think someone was asking about like locations and stuff, but I think we did the studio in Leeds and then
Yeah.
all the outside ones in Nottingham, didn't we?
So yeah, under the School of Design, we've got a studio. So we just rented that out for 2 hours, which was a really limited amount of time to get it all set up, film the shots several times. And I think also it was it was a little bit awkward because we just had the photography teacher at the back just staring at our work without saying a single word, just looking at what we were doing. He didn't help at all. He was just looking at us set all the lights like struggle. I remember one of the huge lights nearly like fell on top of my head at some point. It was all a bit of a struggle, but it was a lot of fun, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I remember at the end, like you were like, "Oh, we've got time for one more shot," and he was like, "Well, you don't really." But I was like, "Oh, okay."
He was like, well, I don't think so. And we were like, okay, cool. Well, we'll just do one more, and then we'll be fine, you know.
Yeah, I remember that being like quite stressful because I literally just got off the train. I was like eating my lunch as I was running up to the uni from the train station, and then I met Ailey, and then like she literally slapped some makeup on me as quickly as she possibly could, and like stabbed me with some eyeliner, and then suddenly was like running up and down the stairs like, "Guys, it's ready, come!" And then we all ran upstairs. It was quite stressful, but it worked out in the end, definitely.
Yeah, it was.
It's such a good resource to have as well.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps being a student under the School of Design if you're gonna like do anything artistic, for sure. Otherwise, having to rent out a studio would have been expensive and impossible. But yeah, no, it definitely helps having all the creative stuff to our availability, put it that way. Hence why we could do it with the entire music video without a budget. quite simply.
Yeah, it does. And the camera they had there was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember what camera it was, but it was definitely a full-on film camera, which does most of the main shots in the music video anyway. The quite full-on, nice, intense, highly contrasted shots. Which was all good.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, it's so nice to see it all come together finally. Like I can see like all the individual shots in my head, and then seeing it all together is completely different. Like I was sort of, even if we were talking about it with my dad, we were like, what if I watched it and I didn't like it? And I was like, but I wouldn't. But like, it's literally there's nothing. I watched it. And I was like, there's like one scene of like 1 second that I want to change, and that's it. Like you guys talked about it. You guys like had the idea so well formed that it just worked so well.
Thank you. Yeah. I think I remember Sonny came over to my house a few times in Leeds, and we just like sat in the kitchen and we just like brainstormed all of the ideas. We were like, okay, what shots work, what shots don't work, what kind of budget? We have no budget. Okay, so therefore what is possible? This is possible. And then we sort of did a rough storyboard, but it wasn't. We were very we'll figure out at the time. It wasn't really a storyboard like a professional one where we thought of every shot for each second. It was more of a rough idea of, well, this would look nice here. Then we do a lead up to like the beat drop sort of kind of moment. And then, you know, and then we do a few other things. And it was all it was pre-planned, but roughly pre-planned. There wasn't too much of a, we're going to do this then and we're going to shoot this then. I mean, hence why we could get away with the bath. And when we went just walking around and we were like, oh, cool, a playground. Let's just shoot there, you know, it'll be great. So I think definitely a bit of pre-planning, but it was quite loose so that we had more options and availability once we actually got there.
Yeah, it was quite nice just like walking around Nottingham, and like when you're looking at it through the eye of the music video, you see everything so differently. Like there's one shot which literally just has like the tram, and like in a normal day that's just such a normal boring thing, but the way it's framed looks really cool, and it's like looking at Nottingham through a different lens is really nice because it's actually such a beautiful city.
Yeah, no, it was I think also like the tram idea, I remember just looking out the window going, oh, that'd be cool, and just like turn on the camera. I was like, I'll just film this. Funny was like, what are you doing? And then we both started filming, and then I turned around and I took a few shots of you, and then just had different angles, different things going on. It was quite fun. And then obviously with the whole editing, that just took a lot of like different fun effects like added on and put in different places and stuff. The editing was a lot of fun, for sure. We played around a lot. There was a lot of like, oh, would this look good? No, okay, let's try something else. Would this look good? Oh, that looks quite good. Let's duplicate that and put it somewhere else. There was a lot of like, I remember like searching through YouTube quite a bit, being like cool effects on Premiere Pro, and then just seeing whatever came up. I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, I'll try that.
Nice.
So that worked out.
Yeah, I think that's like part of the charm of it is kind of, it was quite, loads of the shots were quite spontaneous and just what we thought would look good at that moment, and like just working it out as we went. I think that made it a really nice video because it kind of, it flows so well. But you know, we were going from like completely different areas of Nottingham, and like there were so many completely different shots that it could have looked completely different, but the way you put them together makes it really, it flow and fit with the music really well.
Thank you. But yeah, I think Sunny and I spent a lot of time. I mean, it was a shame that it had, like, throughout the time we were editing, a lot of things, bumps came in the way, but if it got done.
Oh, I mean, like, you were doing a uni degree and everything else as well at the same time. It's mad. All your exams and stuff. I was like, oh god, I feel bad. But
yeah, I mean, we did sort of film it sort of just before, like, we went off on holiday, and then there were the exams. So, and because it was on Sunny's computer, it was, we had to do it together. So we sort of like went to the library together to do it. And every time we couldn't do it, it was sort of just there. But yeah, no, it had to be on his computer, sadly, because my computer is slightly slowly dying, put it that way. But he's got a really good, nice one. So yeah, we used his instead, which is quite good.
Yeah. No, it looks amazing. And like, thank you so much for helping me do it, because I wouldn't have let anything like that if I tried to do it. And, like, I was, for one of my other music videos, I like, in my head I was like, oh, I know what I want to do, and I started filming it, and I was like, this looks so bad. I was like, I need Sunny and Storm back. Because like I struggle with that, like having the eye for it and having like visualizing it, because it's just a completely different side of art as opposed to music. But no, it's really, really cool, and thank you very much for doing it for me. It's awesome.
You were the amazing girl who like just was completely okay with us just like taking over and doing all these fun, weird, random things. So I mean, it wouldn't have worked without. I mean, it wouldn't have started without you, but it definitely wouldn't have worked without you, like giving us the opportunity, but also just giving us the green card to do anything that we wanted. So.
Yeah, I mean that is only a recent thing. Like, I've done enough photo shoots now to kind of not be like embarrassed, but it's taken a long time. But for like a naturally introverted person, I'm like, oh god, no. But I know how good it looks when it's actually done. So it's worth the slight awkwardness and embarrassment. But you've got to get used to it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I think you might shoot out, become an amazing star. You're going to have to get used to all the attention and the cameras flying at your face. So that's what I'm saying.
That's the dream.
It's just the start.
Well, this video is definitely helping like people think that it looks actually professional. Like when you send that off to people, they'll be like, oh, okay, let's have a look at some other stuff as well. So it's definitely good. I can apply to loads of other cool stuff as well with this video as well. So opening up a lot of other avenues, hopefully we can explore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It works out for the best.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much for joining me all the way from France. I hope you're all staying well and happy and not too bored and all of that.
No, we're good. We're good down here. Hopefully you're good as well.
Yes, definitely. It's keeping busy. But thank you everyone for joining us. I'm not sure how many people are still here, but we'll hopefully some people. Thank you for sending. Oh, actually, we might have a question. I bet it's Sunny saying, why did the question? It's Sunny saying, why did the Christian chicken cross the road again? Thanks, Sunny. Thanks. That's great. Because I don't know, because it did. So just leave it at that, Sunny. Get over it.
To get to the other side, there's the answer.
Cool. Well,
Right.
it makes us
Okay.
laugh. That's all that matters. Right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. And I'm sure we'll be back soon at some point doing something else. And thank you very much to Storm and Sunny for creating such a beautiful video and joining me tonight.
Yeah.
Right. I will see you all very soon. Hopefully if I end it, then we both go, I assume.
Yep. Hopefully.
Adios.
Okay.